Before you even get started on anything, you do have to calculate exactly where your light switch is going to be located. Now we have to calculate how can we drill inside that wall, because we only have 3.5 inches in which to drill to put that wire inside the wall, not outside the wall. You want to make sure you get your calculations exactly right. So you want to measure and remeasure before you do any kind of holes in the walls or in the ceilings, because you'll just have to patch them up. All right, so what I did is I went downstairs and I measured from where the staircase over here enters the attic. And I measured over to where I know the center of the hallway is going to be downstairs. Okay, so here is our fixed stairway. We measured over 10 feet, and then we measured another 2 feet, and remember 3.5 inches there. Well, we needed to get to the light fixture over here. So we know the light fixture is a fixed point, so that's what we're looking for. So we can calculate from the center of the light over to the center of the wall. I'm going to show you how I did that. This is the hall light right here. So we measured from the hall light to the center of the wall where we wanted to put our light switch in. And we knew from the center of the light to the center of the wall, not the end of it, but the very center of the wall, we knew it's 26 inches. So we measured 26 inches from the center of the light to where the center of the wall is, and then we needed to come over 30 inches this way so we could put the switch exactly where it is. All right, I know it sounds confusing, but I'll show you downstairs exactly how I did it. Okay, so we're gonna actually put the outlet for the light that we're putting in the ceiling. We're gonna put them on this side of the wall over here, but we want the height and the depth to be the same as this one here. So we're gonna measure in how far it is here to the center of the switch, and then we're gonna measure the height from the floor to the center of the switch also, which we got about 51.5. So that's the height. We're gonna put it over here. We're going to come up with the height here, 51.5. And we know we were going to be in 5 inches. So that is the center of the box that we're going to put in the wall. This is the box that's going to go in here. So this is where we're going to put the hole in the wall. So we have our spot right there. Now the last thing we're going to do before we start doing anything is we're going to make sure that the beam is nowhere to be found inside the wall. So we see that's where the beam starts right there. That's where our beam starts. So we know we're going to be in a good spot by putting in the box right here. Okay, so now we're going to take our box that we're going to install on the wall. We're going to put it on here, and we're going to outline exactly where it's going to go, which you can see I did do. Now these marks here really don't mean anything. We're going by the top marks right here and the bottom mark right here. This is the corner here. And this is the corner right there, just like that. Okay, remember, it's always better to make the opening a little bit smaller than making it a little bit bigger, because once you make it bigger, you can't make it smaller. So we're going to have to shave this down a little bit, but for now, we're just going to drill a small little pilot hole right here. And here, all 4 corners. Okay, so now we have the corner started. We're just going to drill another one here. The reason I did that is we're going to start right here with our drywall tool to cut into the drywall. And now we just work it back and forth nice and easy. And we're going to finish off this cut right here. We'll take this out, and this is our opening right here. And if it's correct, we put a wire through from up at the top, and here it is. I will take you upstairs, up in the attic, and I'll show you how we determined where we're going to drill inside the wall, because that's the hardest part of this whole job, is drilling up in the ceiling in the attic and making sure that you come in the center of the wall. Worst thing you can do is miscalculate and drill a hole through the ceiling in the wrong spot. So the wire is here. We're going to take our box now and we'll see if the box is going to fit correctly in here. So for now, we're just going to put this back in there, put our box in, and now you can make your final adjustments to get your box in. You can see here we have to cut just a tiny, tiny little bit right there. You see how the corner of the box is touching the wall? We're going to take our drywall saw and we're going to cut it just a little bit, cut a slot right there, and we're going to cut a little slot down in the bottom right here, so that way it'll fit in there perfectly. All right, so let's do that and we'll continue. Okay, so up in the attic now, you can see we actually made our measurements to figure out exactly where that opening is. So we drilled inside the wall, that we didn't drill outside into the sheetrock area. And as you can see, this is exactly in the wall itself, dead center. And the way you get these calculations so you know where you're going to put your holes in is you have to make your measurements. As you can see on this particular one, I did a measurement from the stairway, which is a fixed position. The stairway, we came over 10 feet, and then we know we went 2 feet further to get to the wall, and we know the wall is 3.5 inches thick. So we know we went from that staircase right there, we came over here 10 feet, and you can see our mark. Our mark is right here, 10 feet. And then from that 10 feet, we came over 2 feet more, and that gave us our 12 foot right here, so we know it's 12 feet. So that brings us exactly inside to the very edge of the wall itself. And then we know the wall itself is 3.5 inches or 4 inches thick. So we came in 10 feet, 2 feet, and we have 3.5 or 4 inches. So and that's how we determine the location of the wall itself. Okay? And then just to confirm it, we drilled a very small pilot hole through. We drilled a very small pilot hole in the wall just to make sure it was in the correct location. And then after we did that, we came in with a much thicker bit, and we drilled right through there, and we put our wiring down in here. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to run this wiring through the attic, and we're going to pick up a power source over there, and we're going to tie the wires in right there. Okay, so now we stick our wires through the box like this here on the top. You can see they go right through here. We push them through, and then we take our box and we put it up inside the wall here like this, push it in, and these tabs you push down and the bottom tab up. And now when we screw this in place, you'll see that tab, it's going to turn, come up like that, and tighten up and hold the wall right here, and it'll keep the box steady. All right, so let's rotate it, put it in place, just like this, push it in, and now we're going to snug these down. You're not going to tighten them up real tight because it's only made of plastic, and they can break very easily. Okay? Just till it feels like it's snug, and then we'll do the exact same thing here. Okay. And now our box is in. Our wiring is now in here as well. Then we'll finish up our work in the attic, and then we'll come back, put our switch on here, and then we'll get this job all wrapped up. Okay, and this is how you wire up the dimmer switch that we're going to be using. This is the particular switch that we're using. There's lots of different brands out there, but this is the one we're using. This particular one is either a three-way or a single, and as we use it here, we're going to use it as a single. So this one we have to cap off. This is the red with the white tracer. We don't use this one. We just cap it off, and we tuck it in the back of the box. Now we have our black wire here, connects to our black wire from our power feed here. The red wire that comes out of the switch here, and it goes into the wires that lead up to the light fixtures here, 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 and here. All right, so what we do is So what we do is that this red one now is the one that actually turns it off and on, and it'll dim it. Our white leads from both sides here, the one lead that goes up to the fixture and the one that brings the neutral, we tie those together here. And the last thing we did is we took our ground from the switch itself and we connected it up with the grounds that we tied together from these two wires here. And that's it, it's done. We obviously are going to tuck these wires back inside here, and we're going to put our cover over the top of it, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. But this is how it works. Turns it on. And then the dimmer makes it brighter and dimmer. And then, of course, we can just turn them off altogether, and then the dimmer works here as well. All right, so we're going to put the switch back inside the wall, and we'll finish it up. Okay, so here's the lights. As you can see, very, very bright. And then the dimmer, you can make it brighter or darker. And then, of course, you can turn it off and on. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.